Olivia Burns will be in the circle here to start things off in game two for the Indians. It'll be Turner, Turnbow, and Emerson due up here in the top of the first. Take a look back at Turner and what she did in game one. She went 1 for 2 with a walk. She did have a stolen base and was left stranded in scoring position. So waiting that First American National Bank opening pitch, and it's a strike at 3:06. So Burns, who got the win in game one against Bevel State, getting the start here in game two. That pitch high, and evens the count now at 1-1. Clouds starting to come into the area a little bit. Sun has tucked itself away this afternoon. Chilly temperatures when the breeze blows. So that pitch missing low and outside for a ball. 2-1 now is the count. Infield's in here for the Indians. Give you that lineup on the infield. Over at first base, that's Mackenzie Piper. Second baseman, that is Madison Carnes. Shortstop, Bailey Springfield. And third baseman is JoJo Vasquez. Beautiful pitch across for a strike. Evens the count now at 2-2. Nice job that time, just having that one kind of have a late tail to chase back into the strike zone. 2-2 now is the count here on Turner. Turner rips one, a slap shot right at the third baseman, who could not react to it quick enough as she hit it right at her feet that time, and that'll be a leadoff single for Turner. So Turnbow, the DP here in game two. She played third in the first game of the day. She did have an RBI double. She also flew out to right in her first at bat. So Turnbow trying to get things started here for Jackson State in game two after they lost 10-1 in the first game of the day. Shows bunt and takes it off the knee though. So Turnbow, hit by the pitch, will walk it off as she heads down to first. And now what will be Emerson, the shortstop, in the 3 spot. So Jackson State getting things going their way here in the early goings of this one. This is Emerson at the plate.
Number 17, Gracie Emerson.
As she will dig in, there's no outs. Runners on first and second. This pitch pops straight back out of play over the ICC Foundation broadcast booth. Remind you can find out how you can donate to ICC by visiting iccms.edu. Also, don't forget, speaking of the foundation, the ICC Foundation presents the 22nd annual ICC Gospel Bluegrass Concert coming your way on March 3rd. Change up across for a strike. You can order tickets to that by visiting iccms.edu/concert. Or if you're in the Fulton area, come by the Community Relations office and you can order those tickets in person there. That pitch just missing outside. Burns a little sporadic here in the early goings, trying to find that strike zone. We talk about Olivia. She's a freshman out of Grenada, Mississippi. Went to Grenada High School. And there's a shot lifted. Left fielder coming over and makes the play. Nice job that time by Hannah Williams, coming over and squeezing it for the first out of the inning.
Number 23, Kayla Forsyth.
So Forsyth will come to the plate now. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Talked about a great crowd making their way out to the ballpark this afternoon. That pitch, a beauty. Jams up the batter and in there for strike 1. Some of the fans starting to get their heaters out and running here at the ballpark as the Clouds continue to move in here in Fulton. We're scoreless in the top of the first with 1 out. And the changeup that time kind of confused the batter. At the last second swung on it and tipped it back for a foul ball. Kelsey Yates catching in game 2. She caught game 1, but was taken out in the 3rd or 4th inning after a slight injury, but good to see her back on the field here this afternoon. That pitch high for a ball. Runners on first and second. Plenty of speed to burn over there at second. And Turner, she started things off with a single. Turnbow was hit by a pitch, and then Emerson, the shortstop, flew out to left for the first out of the inning. That pitch inside. Wow, good-looking pitch. Called a ball. Or did he call it a strike? He says the count is 2-2. He doesn't have very much difference in his motions when it comes to calling balls and strikes. 2-2 pitch coming. Just inside for a ball. 3-2 now is the count. Got a good little crowd out there in left field. See ICC tennis coach Michael Metz. They'll be hosting Colin on Friday. This pitch fouled back off the netting. We'll stay at 3-2. We're going to try to broadcast those games on Friday on the Blue Channel as well. Select matches in the ICC Colin tennis matches. Of course, they were supposed to open the season last week against Meridian, but due to cold temperatures, that game has been postponed to a later date. 3-2 pitch, change up, lifted, and a nice play there at second. And they turn technically 3. They only needed 2, but Carnes gets the line out, steps on second for the force, and throws it over to first for the triple play. So call it the 4th out of the inning. ICC gets out of the jam. 0-0. We'll take it to the bottom of the first. But first, let's let you know how you can order tickets to this year's ICC Bluegrass concert here on Let'sGoICCTV.com. Itawamba Community College presents the 22nd Annual Bluegrass and Gospel Concert benefiting the ICC Foundation on Saturday, March 3rd at the Davis Event Center in Fulton. This year's performers include the Isaacs, Rhonda Vincent and the Rage, Aaron Wilburn, Christy Miller, and Doyle Lawson and Quicksilver. $20 general admission and $30 reserved seating can be purchased online at iccms.edu/concert. Doors open at 2, music starts at 4. For more information, visit iccms.edu or call 862-8039. That's the ICC Bluegrass and Gospel Concert on Saturday, March 3rd in Fulton. And welcome back to action now as we move to the bottom of the first inning. It'll be the 1-2-3 batters. 2 up here for the Indians. And it'll be Hannah Williams to start things off. Hannah went 0 for 2 with the walk. She did drive in a run with one of those walks. Her courtesy runner, Haley Reed, came in to score a run, part of a 6-run 4th inning for the Indians in their 10-1 Game 1 victory over Jackson State. That pitch fouled off. 1-1 now is the count here on Hannah Williams. The Indians, 3-0 in the year, 2 of those coming via the 5th inning run rule. That pitch in the dirt. 2-1 now goes the count here to Hannah Williams. Well, as we said, the clouds have continued to roll in here in Itawamba County. So that pitch missing for a ball. 3-1 now is the count on Hannah Williams. Be nice if that sun could find a way to creep its way through. So 3-1 count coming. Williams swings on it. Second baseman Gloves throws over in time for the putout, 4-3. Really surprised Williams was swinging on the 3-1 after three straight balls called that time. Kind of reached out and got one. Would have been called a strike, but still.
Bailey Springfield.
So now Bailey Springfield, our Sonic star of the game from game one, coming in here. She went 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. She also picked up the win in game one after striking out 6. Missed that pitch. 1-0 is the count. Springfield pops this one up. Ball drifting back. Catcher goes back, but it's going to be out of play, nearly catching a fan. 1-1 now is the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Springfield digs in with nobody on here in the bottom of the first inning. Bailey, a sophomore, this is infielder / pitcher, out of the bright light city of Manatee, Mississippi. Swings on that changeup, misses wildly. 1-2 now is the count. She went to East Webster High School last season, played at Delta State, reverse transferring in here to ICC. And this pitch foul back, out of play, and we'll stay at 1-2. So Springfield will have to protect the plate here with a 1-2 count. There is 1 out in the inning, and Meg Sullivan is on deck for the Indians. This pitch popped up off the fist. Second baseman comes over and makes the put out of Springfield. 2 away. And now up is Meg Sullivan. Sullivan got things started in a big way for the Indians back in game 1 as she smoked a 2-run home run out to left center in her first at bat. Sullivan was 1 for 3 on the afternoon with 3 RBIs. She also reached on a fielder's choice, stole a base, and scored a run. That was back part of that 6-run 4th inning for the Indians. Sullivan swings on a hard one and just muscles that one right by the third baseman. Going to look at 2, but will come back for that single. Well, I tell you what, she didn't knock it out of the park, but she nearly knocked the third baseman out of the game that time. As that was just a hard hit ball. Not a whole lot the third baseman could do that time other than just try to get a glove on it as it ricocheted off into left field. Good job by the left fielder doing her job, backing up the third baseman and keeping Sullivan to a single. This is Mackenzie Piper coming to the plate. That takes that first pitch for a ball. When you look back at Mackenzie's high school career, I didn't know this about her until her dad actually posted the video on Facebook the other day. She took a pretty nasty line drive off her face, or maybe up top part of her head in high school. Broke her nose as that pitch misses for a ball, 2-0. And I tell you what, that's one thing that this swung on a miss, trying to go for a hit and run action that time. Sullivan will take second. But yeah, that's one thing. If I hate to say it needs to be mandatory, but Maley very strongly suggested that third basemen and pitchers wear those masks, much like the pitchers wearing for Jackson State, because I've seen that happen 3 times in person, folks, and it's not anything I care to ever see again. That pitch hangs up high. 3-1 now goes the count here on Mackenzie Piper. Sullivan is at second. She's singled. It was a hit and run. She was able to get to second on a pass ball. This pitch popped up. Left fielder charging in. Shortstop goes out, though, and makes the play. Dangerous play out there in left field. The shortstop coming up and making the catch. Nearly a collision out there that could have cleared the bases for the Indians. So Jackson State dodged a little bit there. We're scoreless after 1 here in Game 2. We're going to take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back to action now as Morgan Ellis will lead things off here to be the 5, 6, 7 batters due up.
Madison Ellis.
Great play defensively by Madison Carnes at second. She turned an unassisted double play to end the first inning as that pitch across for a strike. That double play being brought to you by Little Caesars here in Fulton. Second pitch, just missing a little high and outside for the umpire's liking. I think I got it figured out his rhythm now, or his cadence on his calls. He has a pause as he looks down at his clicker before making his motion. Swung on and missed for strike two. 1-2 now is the count here on Ellis. It'll be Ellis, Pratt, and Donner due up here for the Generals in the top of the second inning. Olivia Burns in the circle, getting set to deliver the 1-2 pitch coming. And that one just up a little too high. And 2-2 now is the count. Next game for the Indians will be on the 7th against Snead State, the first of 3 home doubleheaders for the Indians to open the season. As that pitch missing low and outside for a ball. That game scheduled for 2 and 4 p.m. Count goes full now here on Ellis, leading off the top of the second. This is the first game of the year, only the third game into the year, I should say, as that pitch fouled straight back. But the Indians have not managed to put runs on the board here in the first inning. That pitch fouled back over the ICC Foundation broadcast booth. And the count stays at 3-2. Saw Dr. Jay Allen amongst some of the ICC faithful here this afternoon. This pitch, good decision that time as the ball was kind of knifing back into the strike zone. Was able to find enough of it, foul it off, and keep the at-bat alive. That's something Jackson State has done extremely well all afternoon. Talked about seeing Coach Michael Metz earlier. This pitch, flare out to left field. Williams will come up and get the ball back in. Second straight inning that Jackson State has led off with a single. That just a little flare over the head of Vasquez out in left field. And so with nobody on and no outs,
25, Holly Pratt.
this will be Pratt, the second baseman, coming in here. Talk about Coach Michael Metz. Also got his 3 kids out there. They're throwing the football around a little bit. So this will be Pratt digging in here. The lights are on here at the ballpark, the ICC softball complex. A little pitch out, the throw down almost in time. Is it like when she slid, she slapped it down with her hand? Not that it was interference. The ball actually was a break for ICC. If she doesn't hit the ball, it rolls out to right field. So a break there for the Indians, and the runner is safe. Swung on and missed. I believe that evens up the count now at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs here. As Pratt was looking to park that one somewhere, just could not find it. So waiting the 1-1 pitch here from Burns. Pitch is coming. Change up that fell off the table just a little too soon that time for Burns. 2-1 now goes the count. Of course, considering no students on campus, good little crowd out here. See a couple of ICC baseball players amongst the crowd. Russell Bunch, I think that's Ray Sandroni, taking in the game here. Of course, they opened their season on the 13th at Calhoun. 3-1 is the count here. Swung on and missed. Nice location on that one. 3-2 now goes the count as the sun's starting to peek out here. You might hear a smattering of applause from some of the fans. So I believe I see some ICC football players here as well. And there's looking strike 3. Nicely done that time. So that's a Renaissance Bank strikeout. The first of the game for Burns. So Donner will dig in with 1 out and a runner on first. Shows bunt, lays it down nicely. Sacrifice bunt is successful. Score that one 1-3 on the putout. Ellis is able to advance that sacrifice bunt. Being brought to you by the ICC Baptist Student Union. Reminding you of the ultimate sacrifice paid for our sins. Remind you can keep up with the ICC BSU by following them on Twitter at ICC BSU. If you need me to spell that for you, guess what? It's ICC BSU on Twitter. So the runner was able to advance on the sacrifice bunt. 2 outs, and Turrentine is at the plate. That one called a strike on the first pitch from Burns. 2 outs, 0-1 is the count here. Burns set to deliver. Change up, popped up over to left field, and that is going to be Vasquez hauling that one in. Looked like Springfield had called her off that time, but Vasquez stood her ground and was able to squeeze it for the 3rd out. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 1.5. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
Ever since you got that license, you've been on the move. We get it. With Student Checking, we have the tools to keep you going. Take care of that check from grandma without stopping at the bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And we'll even pay you back for ATM fees. So keep on going, and we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
And welcome back to action as you had plenty of extra time there to look at that Renaissance Bank Understanding You. RenaissanceBank.com. Don't forget on Wednesdays you can see the Renaissance Bank Want to Play Wednesday. As that pitch, wow, at the chin of Vasquez, but called a strike. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 batters due up here for the Indians in the bottom of the second. We're scoreless. Vasquez takes that one for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. JoJo went 0 for 3 in game 1. This pitch popped up a mile high. Going to get back and out of play. She did have an RBI, part of a 4-run first inning in game 1. JoJo will come back with a 1-2 count. Waiting the pitch here for Hayes. Rips it, return to sender, right back up the middle. And that'll be the second hit of the game here for the Indian. And Vasquez starts the inning off with a single right back up the middle. And now this will be Kelsey Yates coming to the plate.
Kelsey Yates.
Yates will dig in. She did not play in game 1. So this will be her first at-bat of the game. Throw down is not in time. Whoa, that was close. But Vasquez gets the stolen base there. Nice throw down that time from Donner. Nearly getting Vasquez. 0-1 is the count here on Yates. So now Yates does square the bunt, lays it down, but bunts it foul. 0-2 now is the count here on Yates. See what Coach Kirk likes to do here. Sometimes not your traditional guys. A lot of times you see an 0-2 count, you see them take the bunt off, but Andy not afraid to keep the bunt on when it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs, and a runner on second here for the Indians in a scoreless contest in Game 2 with Jackson State. Instead, Yates is going to get the free pass. She took that one off the thigh that time. A hit batter was put runners on first and second with no outs.
Number 9.
And now this will be Madison Carnes coming into the contest here. We're going to see, no, they're going to let to keep Yates on the bases here. Thought they might take advantage of the courtesy runner situation. Carnes does show bunt, pulls back, takes it for a ball. Can't remember if they changed that in softball like they changed it in baseball. I know baseball changed it where you can't have a courtesy runner. So they might have done the same thing in softball, as I'll check with Andy after that. Carnes showed bunt again, pulled back, took it for a ball. 2-0 now is the count here on Madison Carnes. So the Indians looking to get things going here in the bottom of the second. It's a scoreless contest here in Game 2 with Jackson State. Hayes is your pitcher here in Game 2 for the Generals. Bunt laid down, nicely executed, and the throw over in time for the putout. A sacrifice bunt by Madison Carnes. 1-3 on the putout of Carnes, but it does advance the runners. That sacrifice bunt once again being brought to you by the ICC Baptist Student Union. They invite all ICC students to join them Monday nights at 7:07 for worship at the ICC Baptist Student Union. It's located right across, basically from the e-learning building here in Fulton. So there's one out in the inning, and now up is going to be Haley Reed, the right fielder, batting for the Indians with runners on second and third. ICC trying to break open this scoreless contest. That pitch across for a strike. Third baseman is in. It's one of those situations where I think Boots might be told to read the third baseman, see if they're going to be in, or if she's back, see if you can't sneak in a bunt. And that's what they kind of did there. Sacrifice bunt, throw across the way is in time, but it does get the run. Nicely executed that time by Haley Reed as the squeeze gets the run home, and the Indians take a 1-0 lead.
Corey Child.
Nicely executed there by the Indians on the squeeze play as Vasquez was able to score on that one. Good bunt, though. That's where it all started by Haley Reed. She bunted the ball basically towards second, but the only play was at first. That first pitch across for a strike on Corey Childs. 2 outs, 0-1 is the count here on Corey Childs, who went 0 for 1. She did reach on an error, scored a run. She was walked, stole the base, and was left stranded. Nice play by the third baseman, grabbing a hard ground ball to get the putout. Score that one 5-3 for those of you scoring at home. Indians put a run on the board here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 ICC. We're going to take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen, as we now move to the top of the third inning. ICC leading 1-0 here in Game 2 against Jackson State. For the Generals, it'll be the 9-1-2 batters due up here for Jackson State. This will be Peyton Holland in the 9 spot, playing the 9 spot and defensively in right field. Holland 0 for 2 on the day in game 1. Takes that first pitch inside for a ball. Well, the clouds starting to break away momentarily, and the sun peeking out here in Fulton on this chilly afternoon in Itawamba County. 1-0 pitch coming from Burns. That pitch missing low in the dirt. 2-0 now is the count. So 2-0 is the count here. Burns taking her time, getting the call from the dugout, trying to gather herself, sets to deliver. Nice pitch that time as Hollenhead looked to park that one somewhere, just didn't keep her eye on the ball. And the count now goes 2-1. I said Hollenhead, it's actually Holland. Hollenhead was Mamie Hollenhead, the former Indian. Here's that pitch fouled back out of play towards the Johnson Partlow Tennis Complex, where they'll be in action Friday against Colin. So 2-2 is the count here on Peyton Holland. Defense pretty much straight away here on Holland. Change up, poke down the line, but it's going to go foul. Nice hit bat. Boy, you've heard me say it once, twice, maybe even 3 times throughout both these broadcasts. Jackson State just does a great job of keeping at-bats alive when they've got 2 strikes on them. They've done that all afternoon here. Well, the sun is creeping out. Hopefully it will not start messing up the broadcast too much. It may do so as the game progresses, so we'll try to adjust the camera as we go. 2-2 pitch coming from Burns. High for ball 3. So counts full here. No outs. This is the first batter of the top of the 3rd inning. 1-0. And lost her. Just couldn't quite get her to go chase one up in the zone that time. And for the 3rd straight inning, Jackson State has put the leadoff runner on.
Number 7, Allie Turner.
And we go back to the top of the lineup here with Turner. Turner started the game off with a single. A little flare right back up the middle on a slap hit. See, the infield is in. First baseman tucking in next to the pitcher. Shows bunt, takes it for a strike. Got the third baseman in. Shortstop shallow, not normal distance. The shortstop cannot come in too much as she's got to cover second as well on any steal attempt. Outfield is shallow with the center fielder to the left. Snap throw down, not in time though. Nice job by Yates. She throws that one a little bit quicker. May have had a chance, but I don't think really and truly Holland had that much of a lead to be able to get tossed out. I think 1-1 is the count here on Turner. Runner was going, trying a little hit and run action that time was the Generals. And now the count goes 1-2. And Holland, who got a great jump on the ball that time, was about 3 steps away from second when she had to turn around and come back. So 1-2 now is the count, no outs. ICC leading this contest 1-0. That pitch missing outside, 2-2 now goes the count. Remind you, if you're watching here on Let'sGoICCTV.com, be sure and hit us up. Let us know you're watching. That shot right back up the middle, just off the glove. And now they're going to try to go to third. And the ball is long, and it's going to... Did it go into the dugout? No, it's a good job that time by Hannah Williams defending her position to come in that time and back up the third baseman. So that's going to be a single for Turner, her second. She'll advance on the throwing error.
Number 3, Kelsey Turnbow.
So that's the first error of the season for the Indians. And now what will be Turnbow, I've called her Turbo like 2 or 3 times today. Turnbow, she was hit by a pitch in her previous at-bat. Can come in and do some damage here. With no outs, runners on second and third. Change up was a beauty, called a strike. ICC nursing a 1-0 lead now. Try to find a way to keep that lead in their favor. Can they get out of this inning with no damage done? They are in a big-time jam here with no outs, runners on second, third. This pitch fouled back and out of play over the ICC Foundation broadcast booth. Mr. Jim Ingram, the Foundation director, he'll be on the call Thursday night whenever ICC basketball is back on the air against Mississippi Delta. Not only will that game be available on the red channel of Let's Go ICC TV, as the pitch coming, just missing for a ball. That basketball game Thursday night will also be available on FM 95 Sports out of Amory 95.7 FM on your radio dial. This pitch popped up. Yates sheds her glove, but it bounces off the top of the ICC Foundation broadcast booth that time. So call the insurance company, Joey Cox, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, and he can fix the dent in the roof of the press box here. Well, he won't fix it, but he can give you coverage to have it fixed. Raphael Henry can fix it for you. 1-2 pitch coming, low and inside for a ball. Two is the count here on Turnbow. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Ripped, and it's down the line. It's a fair ball. That's going to score 1, going to score 2 runs, and Jackson State will take the lead. Big time hit there by Turnbow, a double that just laced its way down the line, pushes across the 2 runs, and for the first time this season, the Lady Indians trail the contest after that 2-run RBI from Turnbow. So 2-1, Jackson State with the lead. And Yates wants to come out and kind of talk to her pitcher here. The freshman running into a little bit of trouble here in the top of the third. 2-1 now, Jackson State with the lead.
Number 17, Gracie Emerson.
This is going to be Emerson at the plate. Emerson went 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a pair of singles in the first game of the day. She'll dig in here and try to keep the rally alive. Looks at that pitch, falls off the table a little too soon for a ball. 1-0 now is the count here on Emerson. But the Indians going to get someone start to warm up in the bullpen. This pitch popped up, and it's going to go back and out of play. And so it evens up the count now at 1-1. Clouds have went away, as we said. Not the ideal location to set up a camera this late in the afternoon to be able to shoot not only highlights by Raphael, but also our broadcast here. Remember, you can see those highlights on our YouTube pages. But if you want a direct link to each game's highlights or the pregame previews, you can visit letsgoicc.com. And there, go to the softball page or whatever sports page you would like to see those videos. Ripped, but foul. Well, that's one thing we saw during BP for Jackson State. They swing a pretty strong bat. They've hit some hard ones here in this one. That one was one of them there, but luckily for the Indians, it was foul. If not, that would have pushed across the 3rd run. So the pitch coming. This one popped a mile high, back out of play. And I believe the count will stay 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. No outs. Changeup hangs up for a ball. 3-2 now is the count. 2-1, Jackson State with the lead here in the top of the 3rd inning. ICC trailing for the first time this season. Burns getting set to deliver, and this one fouled off. As that one well out of play, I heard a fan say windshield. I'll tell you what, if you hit a windshield here at the ballpark on a foul ball, you've touched one. Parking not far away, but not close either. So the count stays full. Payoff pitch coming from Burns, and it's high. She loses her for a walk. That's the second walk here of the contest, second walk of the inning for Burns. And now runners on first and second, still no outs. And now Forsythe will come up. She lined into a double play her last time up. Boy, it'd be a good time to see the Indians get another one of those there. Time is called on the field. Coach Kirk going to come out and talk to his pitcher. We're going to take the time out with them and hear a word from Renaissance Bank. We'll be back with more right after this.
Ever since you got that license, you've been on the move. We get it. With Student Checking, we have the tools to keep you going. Take care of that check from grandma without stopping at the bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And we'll even pay you back for ATM fees. So keep on going, and we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
And welcome back to action as the conversation continues as Coach Kirk will break away from the circle. 2-1 is your score. ICC trailing Jackson State. We did say they do have some players warming up in the bullpen earlier, but they're going to stick with Burns out of the timeout. We do want to say a special hello to those watching in support of Jackson State. They lead this game 2-1. Here in Game 2, ICC won the first game of the day by the final score of 10-1 in 5 innings. So Forsythe will come to the plate. Swings on the first pitch she sees and pulls it foul. In her first at-bat, she had an inning-ending double play or hit into one. It was actually a triple play, but the Indians only needed 2 outs to get out of the inning. And it was an unassisted double play by Madison Carnes at second. This pitch popped up. Bouncing off the broadcast booth yet again. Boy, I tell you what, if you got free snow cones like you used to whenever you get a foul ball, first off, nobody be going after any foul balls. Second, you may have to go get another bag of ice by now. So 0-2 is the count. Burns set to deliver that pitch outside for a ball. Not a bad spot to miss that time by Burns. 1 ball, 2 strike, no outs. Runners on first and second. This pitch lifted down the line, but foul, and we'll stay at 1-2. Ellis on deck here for Jackson State. Burns getting a new ball in, so she's trying to get that one rubbed up a little bit so she can get a grip on it. 1-2 count. Burns, changeup, beauty. Oh, but caught a ball. Just hung up in the zone, too much for the umpire's liking that time. Count goes 2-2. Well, that was a great pitch that time by Burns. Just a little too tall that time. This pitch lifted up. Vasquez chasing over, makes the play in foul territory. Atta girl, JoJo. She's able to get the running catch that time. First out of the inning there. Great effort by Vasquez. Her second put out of the game.
Number 6.
Only the first out of the inning, and now up is Ellis. Not only a good job by Vasquez to make that catch, she quickly turned around and looked to third to make sure the runner was not going to try to advance. Shows the bunt. It's executed nicely. Burns gets it, throws it over, and it's into right field, and they're going to score a run. Ball gets away past the right fielder. 2 runs will score. And so the sacrifice bunt by Ellis turns into an error on the pitcher, and 2 runs come across and score. And so now Jackson State takes a 4-1 lead here. And that error allowed 2 runs to score.
5, Holly Pratt.
And the runner also heads up on the play, advanced to second, so she's in scoring position now. And this will be Pratt coming to the plate. Pratt, the second baseman. Looks at that pitch across for a strike. Donner on deck. Indians would love to get a double play here to get out of this inning and try to stop some of this bleeding. Though Jackson State wants to keep it going here. There's another strike. Nice job by Burns. Just kind of settle down. Saw her kind of force it a little bit too much after that ball ended up in right field. I think what happened there, the bunt was a pretty good one, and the runner had better speed than anticipated. Was able to get down that line in a hurry. This pitch popped up, chasing over, and Yates couldn't get to the play. Great hustle that time by Yates as she made the diving effort, just could not get to it. Like when she dove, maybe her gear kind of caught some of the drainage system over there. So a little bit of time for her to come back and get everything set. 0-2 the count here on Pratt. Pratt struck out looking in her first at bat. That pitch low for a ball. Speaking of former ICC softball players, Caitlin Bradley in the house. You heard the cluck, somebody making a chicken sound. Well, that was her nickname back in her ICC playing days, now playing at Blue Mountain. And there's a flare out to right field. And they thought about testing the arms of Boots that time, but she quickly got it in. And right now, this inning has belonged to Jackson State. That was the third hit of the inning. And now runners on the corners here for the Generals. Still only one out in the inning. Jackson State still batting here. And the new batter will be Donner, the catcher.
Michelle Donner.
So Donner will dig in with runners on the corner and one out. That pitch called a strike. 0-1 now is the count here to Donner. Jackson State trying to keep this merry-go-round turning here. This is the 8th batter of the inning for the Generals. They lead it 4-1 here. That pitch high for a ball. Maybe a pitch out that time to see if the runner might have been going. But with the runner at third, I don't think you're going to see the throw down. 1-1 now is the count. So Donner swings on this one, and it's a foul ball. Woo! And when I say foul ball, only by inches. And if that ball's down, that may have scored 2 more runs as well. So a break there for the Indians. As that one, nothing but an exciting strike on the foul ball. So Donner will dig in. She had a sacrifice bunt in her first attempt. Takes that one high for a ball. 2-1 now is the count here on Donner. Excuse me, 2-2 is the count. So Burns delivers the pitch, a slow roller. Third baseman Vasquez come over and makes the play. Going to try to get 2, but no, cannot do so. Then the throw to third is in time. Well, not necessarily a double play the old-fashioned way, but score this one, folks. This one gets a little bit crazy here. 5-3 to 2-6 on the double play. The run did count. And so that puts another run on the board there. Makes it a 5-1 contest here in favor of Jackson State. So the Indians got a little bit of work to do here in the bottom of the third inning. We're going to step away and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back to action to be the 1-2-3 batters due up here for the Indians. It's Hannah Williams to start things off here in the inning. 0 for 1 here in Game 2. It was a 5-run scored in the top of the third by the Generals, and they lead Game 2 5-1. Williams, left fielder, trying to spark the Indians here. Takes that pitch, missing for a ball. 2-0 now is the count here on Hannah Williams. Hannah, a sophomore outfielder from Philadelphia. She went to Neshoba Central High School. Shows bunts, pulled back on it. Takes it for a ball, 3-0. The Indians just got to find a way to chip back into this one. They took a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the second, fell behind after a 5-run top of the third, and Hannah Williams, 4 straight pitches, will draw the walk, and she'll head down to first. That is the first walk of the game for Hayes. And now it will be Bailey Springfield. Springfield popped out to second in her first at bat. The Indians, that was part of a one-hit first inning. That one hit belonged to Meg Sullivan. That pitch across for a strike. Looked a little high, but the umpire calls it a strike. So waiting the pitch here as Springfield will dig in. Looks at that one low for a ball. Williams taking a big lead halfway down to second, daring the catcher to throw it, but you want to get back a little bit quicker than that if you're Hannah. Some of the ICC fans breathing a sigh of relief that time as she was able to get back. Springfield fouls this one back. Was like a little hit and run action the Indians were trying to get to going there with Williams. So 1-2 now is the count here on Bailey Springfield. Like that ball may have got a scuff on it. The umpire going to send it to the ICC dugout. So it's Hayes in the circle, getting her first start of the season for Jackson State. Did not see any action in Game 1. That pitch missing low, evens up the count now at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, bottom of the third inning. Hannah Williams started the inning off with a 4-pitch walk. Springfield now with a 2-2 count. Rips this one, but another line drive to the third baseman, and that's going to be 2. A great play over there on the line drive to third, and then the quick throw over on the putout, 5-3 for the Little Caesars double play. Now up is going to be Meg Sullivan. She singled in her first at bat. She had a 2-run home run in Game 1. Sullivan takes that pitch. Wow, missing for a ball. The way he sat up quickly, I thought he was going to call it for a strike, as it looked like a strike from up here. So a break there for the Indians. Sullivan looks at that one across for a strike. Evens up the count now at 1-1. Well, the Indians a little flat here in Game 2. Credit Jackson State after getting run ruled in the first game of the day, able to come back and take a 5-1 lead after that one on the putout. And 3 up, 3 down after the double play go the Indians here in the bottom of the third. We've played 3. ICC trails at 5-1. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this. And welcome back to action as we get set to start the top of the fourth inning.
Marissa Turntine.
Turntine due up. It'll be the 8-9-1 batters here for Jackson State. They lead it 5-1 here in game two. That pitch just missing inside for a ball. Olivia Burns, who ran into a little bit of trouble there in the third, back out here in the top of the fourth. ICC does have a little action brewing over there in the bullpen. There's a little flare, and it's going to find its way through. Nope, Madison Carnes is going to get it in time. Well, the ball had a little sideways spin on it that time. It didn't allow it to sneak its way into the outfield. Madison Carnes doing a great job staying with the play and getting the put out. 4-3 for those of you scoring at home. It's the second assist of the day for Carnes, third putout of the day for Mackenzie Piper over there at first. So Holland, who walked, scored a run, a part of that 5-run top of the third inning. That pitch missing inside for a ball. Want to know the count here on Holland. That pitch inside, missing low and inside. 2-0 now is the count. That pitch missing high for a ball, 3-0. So the 3-0 pitch coming and loses her. For the second time in the contest, Holland draws a walk. So you can see highlights of today's game on WTVA tonight. And we're going to have a change made here. Turner will come in. She's the number one batter. She's had the hot hand today. She's 2 for 2. We'll have a pitching change coming up here for the Indians as the Indians go to the bullpen. Looks like this is going to be Macy Cox coming in here in relief of Olivia Burns. We're going to take a break and come back with that pitching change here on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
Ever since you got that license, you've been on the move. We get it. With Student Checking, we have the tools to keep you going. Take care of that check from grandma without stopping at the bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And we'll even pay you back for ATM fees. So keep on going, and we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
Itawamba Community College presents the 22nd Annual Bluegrass and Gospel Concert benefiting the ICC Foundation on Saturday, March 3rd at the Davis Event Center in Fulton. This year's performers include the Isaacs, Rhonda Vincent and the Rage, Aaron Wilburn, Christy Miller, and Doyle Lawson and Quicksilver. $20 general admission and $30 reserved seating can be purchased online at iccms.edu/concert. Doors open at 2, music starts at 4. For more information, visit iccms.edu or call 862-8039. That's the ICC Bluegrass and Gospel Concert on Saturday, March 3rd in Fulton.
At Food Giant, serving you is our #1 priority. We offer the freshest produce, highest quality meats, tasty baked goods, and the best meats and cheeses in our deli department. At Food Giant, you'll always find a staff member eager to help you find exactly what you need. Freshness, variety, value. Shop Food Giant today with several locations in North Mississippi.
And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen, as new pitcher in the contest here for the Indians is number 30, Macy Cox. She will relieve Burns here with 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. Pitch missing low for a ball. Indians trail at 5-1 here in game 2 to Jackson State. That pitch missing low and outside again for a ball. 2-0 now is the count. So 2-0 is the count with 1 out. 5-1 is your score. Jackson State with the lead and at the plate. That pitch across for a strike. Snap throw down to first. Not in time. 2-1 now is the count. As we said, this is Turner at the plate. She's 2 for 2 with a run scored. She advanced on the error. The Indians with 2 errors had played mistake-free baseball through their softball through the first 3 games of the season. Throw was up the second base line. The tag was not in time, and a stolen base for Turner. Or no, excuse me, that was a stolen base for Holland. Her first of the day. So now runner in scoring position here.
What's the count?
And that pitch across for a strike. I believe the count may be 2-2. No, the count is 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes here. Runner on second with 1 out. 3-2 pitch coming from Cox. Foul ball. So to hit the plate. And we'll stay at 3-2. Break there for the Indians as Turner has plenty of speed to burn. If that one would have trickled down the line, possibly could have been a tough play at first, and it would have also allowed the runner to advance to third. 3-2 pitch coming from Cox. This one popped out. Right center fielder, couldn't get to it, but the runner at second not able to advance. And so for the third time here in Game 2, Turner has reached on a single. And awaiting the umpire, the coach talking to the umpire out here. I think he's trying to say an argument on Springfield blocking the bag. She wasn't doing that. The ball was about 10 yards out in the outfield. And if she was going to go to third on that play, I'm sorry, she would have been out because Corey Childs could have easily threw her out at third base. Unless that girl has got like a 2.540 speed that nobody knows of.
Number 3, Kelsey Turnbow.
But anyway it goes now. Turnbow will come to the plate. This is where she did some big-time damage last time. Got the wheels turning for Jackson State in the third. She had a 2-run double. As that pitch misses low for a ball. Jackson State scored 5 runs in the top of the third, threatening to add more to them here in the top of the fourth. They lead it 5-1. Turnbow 1 for 1 with a double. She was hit by a pitch. Takes that one for a strike. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners on first and second. That pitch missing high for a ball. Snap throw down to second. Not in time. See if they would catch the runner being a little lackadaisical. Getting back to second. She dove in. 2-1 now is the count here on Turnbow. Yeah, beautiful pitch. Called a strike. 2-2 now is the count here on the DP Turnbow. Emerson on deck. Macy Cox starting to settle down a little bit. 2-2 pitch coming. Oh, a good looking pitch, but just a little too far outside for the umpire's liking. As Turnbow, well, she turned to walk away, thinking that might have been strike 3, but instead now the count goes full. 3-2 now is the count. The clouds starting to move back here into Fulton. There's a line drive. Shortstop gets it. Toss to third is not in time. So a fielder's choice for Turnbow. Just a tough play there as it was deep in the hole that time for Springfield, who tried to kind of sidearm toss it or soft toss it over to third, and good speed by Turner allowed her to, or excuse me, that's not Turner, that was Holland, allowed her to beat that one out. So now, bases full of Generals here in the top of the fourth inning. The ICC's got to find a way to get an out here. That pitch missing low for a ball. This is Emerson at the plate. She is 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. She has scored a run, part of that 5-run third inning for the Generals. At first pitch, missing low for a ball. That pitch missing high. 2-0 now is the count. See Morgan Adams in the house. She brought gifts, and they look amazing, is what they look like. Cupcakes for the birthday boy, Lee Adams. This pitch popped up, danger, and it's going to drop in fair territory. 1 run will score, and they'll get the force at third. But Emerson will get the RBI, and Jackson State will get the run. They lead now 6-1. That was Holland that came around to score. That had closed the book on Olivia Burns. Burns faced 18 batters, gave up 6 runs, 5 of those earned. She struck out 1, walked 2, gave up 5 hits. Excuse me, actually she walked 3. So Burns will need to get some help from the ICC bats if she doesn't want to be on the hook this afternoon. That pitch across for a strike. 1-1 now is the count. There is 2 outs in the inning. After that force out at third. Retired Turner. Ground ball back to the pitcher. And that'll do it. The Indians get out of the inning, but not until the Generals are able to put 1 more run on the board to take a 6-1 lead here. They get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. We'll take a break and come back with the bottom of the 4th inning. ICC trails 6-1. And welcome back now as we get ready to go to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Number 18, Mackenzie Piper.
It'll be Mackenzie Piper to lead us off here. So the Indians got a little bit of work to do here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So that pitch across for a strike. Piper puts a charge into 1. Center fielder drifting back and squeezes it for out number 1. So 1 out now, and this will be JoJo Vasquez due up here for the Indians.
Number 2, JoJo Vasquez.
So Vasquez will dig in, trying to spark a rally here for ICC. They trail 6-1 here in the bottom of the 4th in Game 2. Let's give credit where credit's due. The Generals got run ruled in the first game of the day, 10-1. They've come back in a big way here and trying to rally to earn the split here on the road to open their season. ICC trying to avoid the split and see if they can move to 4-0 on the year. But as we said, halfway through the game, got to get something going here for ICC. Vasquez rips 1, but it goes foul. Clouds have moved back in yet again. Temperatures steadily dropping here in Fulton. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th. That pitch in the dirt gets away. 3-1 now goes the count here to Vasquez. Well, you can't do it with one swing of the bat if you're the Indians right now, so you just need base runners. Opportunities to put runs on the board here, so any way you can get there, get there. Looks like we're going to have a new batter up here in the next at bat as Conley is on deck for the Indians. This pitch popped up. Second baseman calling everyone out and squeezes it right above her shoulder to get the out there for the second out. And now up will be Samantha Conley.
Number 11.
So this will be Samantha Conley coming to the plate here with 2 outs. Conley will enter in place of Kelsey Yates. Don't know if she'll stay at the plate or to stay behind the plate, as Yates, as we said, started catching here in game 2. She was hit by a pitch in her first at bat. So Coach Kirk getting the substitution made here for Conley, who will dig in with 2 outs. Nobody on for the Indians. ICC trying to spark a rally here. Took a minute for the home plate umpire to get the change to the visitors. So Conley will dig in. Nobody on. 2 outs for the Louisiana native. Takes that first pitch for a strike. Conley shakes her head in agreement with the call. Madison Carnes on deck for ICC. So waiting for Conley. As that pitch low in the dirt. 1-1 now is the count. In the first game of the day, Samantha was 0 for 1 with a strikeout. She did walk twice, pushed in a run, and scored a run of her own. That pitch missing. 2-1 now is the count on Conley. So 2-1 count here on the freshman out of Louisiana. That pitch, wow, high and inside, called a strike. That's what you call late in the afternoon, I'm cold behind the plate. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Conley rips one. Second baseman jams it up, but the ball just bounced right back into her glove. Able to say, look what I found, and the easy out of Conley. 3 up, 3 down go the Indians there in the bottom of the 4th. ICC trails it 6-1. We're going to step away and take a break. Hear a word from Food Giant and let you know how you can order tickets to this year's ICC Gospel Bluegrass concert right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen, as the commercials, well, they just didn't want to play there. I'm having to use my personal computer, so when the memory starts getting full during our broadcast, sometimes the ads, well, they just don't want to agree with me. We got 2 changes defensively here for the Indians, so let's go over your Coca-Cola lineup to start the top of the 5th. In the circle, Macy Cox. New catcher in the game here. That's going to be number 11, Sam Conley. Your infield stays the same at first. Is Mackenzie Piper. Second, Madison Carnes. Shortstop, Bailey Springfield. And third baseman is JoJo Vasquez. We'll give you the outfield after this pitch. It misses for a ball. Outfield from left to right looks like this. Left field is still Hannah Williams. Your center fielder is still Corey Childs. Your new right fielder is Mackenzie Toombs. This is Ellis at the plate. She takes that first pitch for a ball. Second pitch was a changeup that hung up that time on Cox. 2-0 now. Goes the count here on Ellis. She's 1 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt. She did reach on an error on that sacrifice bunt. That was part of a 5-run fifth inning. That pitch across for a strike. 2-1 now is the count here on Ellis. It'll be Ellis, Pratt, and Donner. The 5, 6, 7 batters due up here for the Generals. This pitch swung on, foul back out of play. 2-2 now goes the count on Ellis. Ellis was 1 for 1 and hit by a pitch in game 1. That pitch in the dirt. Now the count goes full. Well, the pitching has kind of struggled here in game 2. But credit Jackson State, though. They've put the bat on the ball and made it happen. They scored 5 in the third, 1 in the fourth. The Indians only managed 1 in the second. And this pitch lifted, flare out to left. And Hannah Williams failed trying to adjust to the ball. Runner will go around looking to go to third, and the throw will not be in time. So that's going to be a triple there for Ellis, as Hannah Williams was trying to take her step back and tripped up that time, and so that's going to be a triple for Ellis. You have days like that at the ballpark. You just show up, and when it rains, it pours, and it pours on the Indians, not going their way. And then sometimes you go to the ballpark, and it's like when you're Jackson State, everything tends to go your way. That pitch inside and caught a ball. So no outs and a runner on third here. Right now, if you're the Indians, you just want to try to fill up the zone here. That pitch missing for a ball. 2-0 now is the count. Well, Cox just trying to find the strike zone. She's working inside, working outside, just can't seem to find what the umpire wants to call a strike. This pitch to the gap in right center. It's going to drop. 1 run will score. The runner will take second. Nice piece of hitting that time. Back-to-back extra base hits for the Generals. That's going to be an RBI double for Pratt. Ellis, who started the inning with a triple, will come around and score. It is now 7-1 in favor of the Generals. So no outs and a runner on second here for Jackson State, and I believe this will be Donner coming to the plate. And it will be. So Donner will dig in here for the Generals. They lead 7-1 here in Game 2 over the Indians. Remind you to stay tuned for the Renaissance Bank postgame report coming your way at the conclusion of this one. That pitch inside gets away, wild pitch, and the runner will advance to third. So Donner had a sacrifice bunt in her first at bat. She grounded into a unconventional double play that went 5-3-2-6. So that pitch across for a strike. That was to end the third inning. She still, even on that double play, got an RBI. So that pitch across for a strike. This pitch fouled back out of play. 1-2 goes the count. There's a chase for the foul ball by a couple of future ICC softball players. Or hopefully future ICC softball players, I should say. And there's strike 3. Beautiful pitch that time by Macy Cox. Painting the corner and getting Donner looking for her first Little Caesars strikeout of the game. We're going to have a change at the plate here. for the Generals. This is going to be number 20-something. So it's going to be Macy Murhead, number 27, coming into bat here. She's batting in place of Turrentine. It looks like Coach Kurtz wanting to come out as well and talk to his Indians here. So we got a little break in the action. Let's step away. ICC trailing 7-1 here to the Generals in Game 2. We'll take a break and be back right after this. And welcome back now after that brief meeting of the minds inside the circle there for the Indians. Murhead will step in here with one out. And a runner on third here for Jackson State. They lead 7-1. We're in the top of the fifth inning. That pitch across for a strike. We talked about the changes defensively being brought to you by Coca-Cola here in the fifth inning. Behind the plate now is Sam Conley, and out in right field is Mackenzie Toombs. 0-1 is the count. Macy Cox is your pitcher. That pitch missing outside for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. Burns went 3 1/3 innings pitched. Gave up 5 earned runs, swung on and missed for strike 2. Well, that sun disappeared, the clouds came up, and the temperatures are racing to see who can find the lowest number quickly here in Fulton, as that temperature has dropped in a hurry. That pitch missing outside for a ball. Nicely done that time by Samantha Conley to keep that one from getting away from her and keeping the runner at third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and a runner at third. Jackson State trying to build on this 7-1 lead here over the Indians. And that pitch missing low for a ball. 3-2 now is the count. So Cox looking towards the dugout to get the call. Doesn't like the call that was sent her way, so we'll step off and get them to go through the numbers once again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at third. Cox delivers. And that's a foul ball that heard some oohs and ahs out of the crowd. Don't know if it may have got close to the coach over there for Jackson State. Or the player on deck is who it almost hit, said Raphael. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here we're going to do the full count payoff pitch one more time. Pitch on its way. There's strike 3. Got her looking. The second time, actually back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts for Macy Cox. Got them both looking. And now there's 2 outs. A big out there for the Indians. And now up is going to be Holland.
Number 14, Peyton Holland.
Holland has been to the plate twice this game. Has walked twice. She's scored twice. But she's only stolen 1 base. So the Indians trying to get out of this inning with minimum damage done here. This pitch popped up, back and out of play as Conley gives chase. And that one foul ball for strike 1. 0-1 the count here on Holland. That pitch missing high. 1-1 now goes the count here on Holland. Runner at third. That's Pratt. She doubled in a run, advanced on a wild pitch. That pitch across for a strike. 1-2 now is the count. Some of the Jackson State fans not necessarily agreeing with that call. Thought it was a little low that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cox getting set to deliver. Ground ball right back to Macy. She gets it. Underhand toss over to first. And that will do it to end the inning. So the Indians get out of a jam, but not before Jackson State adds another run to their lead. They lead it 7-1 now after playing 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're going to step away and come back with the bottom of the 5th inning. Indians will have Carnes and I believe Toombs and Childs due up in the bottom of the 5th. And welcome back to action now. This will be Madison Carnes coming to the plate here for the Indians. Indians trail this game by the score of 7-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Carnes lifts one out to left, back, and it's off the wall. Or at the foot of the wall, I should say. And Carnes swinging on the first pitch she sees. And boy, she is fired up at second. That's her first hit of the game. A big-time double there to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Can the bats catch fire here for the Indians? As this will be Mackenzie Toombs coming into bat here for the Indians.
Mackenzie Toombs.
Thought that last one had a chance to get out of the ballpark. It just bounced right at the bottom of the fence. Mackenzie Toombs takes that one low for a ball. So the Indians trying to get something started here in the bottom of the 5th. They trail 7-1. Leadoff double. That pitch missing high for a ball. Actually, I thought that might have been a strike. The catcher just stood up way too quick for the umpire's liking. So a break there for the Indians. So Mackenzie, she's out of Ackerman, Mississippi, went to Choctaw County High School, and now has a 3-0 count on her. Corey Childs on deck for the Indians. Toombs takes that one for a strike, taking the whole way there on the 3-0 pitch. 7-1. Jackson State with the lead. There's a hard hit ground ball. Third baseman gets it, throws over, and nearly pulls the first baseman off the bag, but nice play over there at first to get that one for the putout, 5-3.
Number 7.
This is going to be Corey Childs coming to the plate here for the Indians. 1 out, and the runner on second was unable to advance. Another good play that time by Ellis to hold on to it as long as she could. Credits a stretch across the way to Forsythe to be able to keep her foot on the bag. That pitch high and inside for a ball. Childs then will go back to the top of the lineup with Hannah Williams. That pitch across for a strike. 1-1 is the count. Corey 0 for 1 here in game 2. She grounded out to third in her first at bat. And rips one through the gap. Out to right field. And they're going to try to score the run. They will. Childs out to second, and the ball gets away. So the Indians put some pressure on them. A single for Childs. She gets the RBI. She'll advance to second on the throw and then take third on the error. First error of the game for the Generals. So the Indians put a little bit of pressure on Jackson State there, able to get the run across, makes it 7-2 now with one out and a runner at third. Jackson State's coach wants to come out and talk to the Generals here. We'll step away. And we're back as Hannah Williams will come to the plate here for the Indians. Hannah 0 for 1 with a walk. And so Williams will dig in, takes that first pitch high for a ball. Bailey Springfield on deck for ICC. 1-0 is the count. This one's a flare out to center field. The center fielder will catch it. They're going to tag the runner up from third, and with Corey Childs being the runner there, that's an easy sacrifice fly to push across the run. RBI for Williams. But now there's 2 outs in the inning.
And number 21, Bailey Springfield.
And now this will be Bailey Springfield coming to the plate. Bailey hit into a double play in her last at bat. She's 0 for 2 here after a pop up to second in her first at bat here in game 2. Well, ICC showing a little bit of life here in the bottom of the 5th. They've pushed two runs across. And Springfield chases a pitch high out of the zone, pops this one up, and the third baseman will squeeze it for the putout. But the Indians able to put 2 runs on the board on 2 hits, 1 error, and nobody left on base. We've played 5. ICC trails it 7-3. We'll step away and be back with the top of the 6th inning here in game 2 against Jackson State. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set here for the top of the 6th inning. ICC trailing Jackson State 7-3 here in Game 2. Jackson State trying to earn the split in their season opener. They lost the first game of the day by the final score of 10-1 in 5 innings. Credit to Generals. Man, they did not let that get in their head as they've been able to battle back and jump out to a quick lead here. They scored 5 runs in the top of the 3rd after the Indians added 1 in the 1st, then added runs in the top of the 4th and the 5th. ICC was able to get 2 runs there in the bottom of the 5th to make it 7-3. That scoring update being brought to you by the Sonic here in Fulton. Twisted pretzels for $1.99 at the Sonic. They also got all kinds of drink specials. Little chickies, little doggies still going on there at the Sonic in Fulton. That pitch missing low and outside, gets away from the catcher, but nobody on base to do any damage. So waiting the pitch here. Ground ball to the third baseman. Grabs it, throws it over in time for the putout of Turner. And that's going to be the first time Turner has been retired here in game 2. Score that one 5-3 for those of you scoring at home. That was the second assist of the day for Vasquez. Sixth putout of the day for Piper. Turnbow now, who reached on a fielder's choice. Takes a look at that changeup across for a strike. The umpire, once again, has a delay in his delivery on strikes occasionally. Had to wait on that one there. He did call it a strike. 1 out. 0-1 is the count here to Turnbow. She had a 2-run double back in the third. And lifts one here. Trouble drifting back, and over the head of the center fielder. And that will be her second double of the game. Thought that one had a chance to get out of the ballpark. Just didn't get all of it that time. And we talk about it. The ball doesn't travel that well here in Fulton. The field a little bit bigger than it used to be. Not by much, though, as that one just got out to the warning track. Now up will be Emerson. Emerson is 1 for 2 on the day with a walk. She has scored a run and has driven in a run as well. That pitch in the dirt, ball gets away, and the runner will head to third on the wild pitch. 7-3, ICC trailing Jackson State here in game 2. 1 out and a runner on third here for the Generals. Change up, and it's a beauty. Across for a strike. 1-2 now is the count. So taking their time getting the pitch called here. The batter taking her time getting into the batter's box. And finally we're ready to play. 1-2. Pitch coming. A flare out to right field. Mackenzie Toombs. That one got over her head. 1 run will score. And it's going to be, look like they're going to try to get a triple. Throw is not going to be in time as it's up the line. So that's going to be a triple there for Emerson. Boy, I tell you what, the coach from Jackson State was swinging her through. She'll get a double. That is the third, or excuse me, she'll get a triple. That is the second triple of the game for the Generals. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra base hits here in game 2. We talked about it. We saw them during BP today. They carried some big bats. And we'll have a new batter coming in here for the Generals. And we anticipated seeing them be able to put the bat on the ball, and they have done so here in game 2. This will be number 34 entering the contest. This will be Allie Torres coming in to bat. Torres did see an at-bat in the first game of the day, but she grounded in a fielder's choice, actually grounded to third base to end the inning. And that one.
Allie Torres.
So Torres will dig in here. She'll face Macy Cox. Runner on third. In an 8-3 contest. That pitch across for a strike. 0-1 is the count here on Torres. Torres, whoa, took a healthy chop at that one. Just couldn't quite catch up with the fastball. 0-2 now. Cox quickly ahead in the count. That pitch missing for a ball. 1-2 now is the count. This pitch popped up, but is going to get out of play just over the fence there behind first base. Mackenzie Piper giving chase that time. So the count now 1-2. Torres will dig in here with 1 out and a runner on third. Jackson State leading 8-3. Strike 3. Beautiful pitch, and the third time this afternoon that Cox got a Renaissance Bank strikeout and got him looking. All 3 of her strikeouts, victims have been watching them go by for strike 3. 2 outs now.
Number 6.
And this will be Ellis. Ellis tripled her last time up, scored a run. She also has a single and has reached on an error. She scored a run when she reached on that error earlier, part of that 5-run third inning. Ground ball, shortstop, Springfield gets it, zips it across the way for the putout. 6-3 for those of you scoring at home, so the Indians get out of the inning with only minimum damage done. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Indians running out of the outs in this one. They trail 8-3.
Number 15.
And welcome back now as Meg Sullivan
Sullivan.
will lead things off here for the Indians in the bottom of the 6th inning. ICC trails 8-3. That pitch across for a strike. So 0-1 is the count here to Sullivan. Sullivan 1 for 2 here in game 2. She did have a 2-run home run in the first game of the day, which ICC won by the final score of 10-1. Jackson State, they won 40 games last year, trying to earn the split here in their series opener on the road. Sullivan takes a healthy chop at that one, fouls it back out of play for strike 2. So Sullivan digs in. Grounder off the glove of the pitcher. Shortstop's going to have to hurry. Not in time. Dropped the ball. Either way, Sullivan gets it in for her second hit of the game.
Number 18.
And now this is going to be Mackenzie Piper.
Piper.
So Piper will dig in with no outs and a runner on first. She's 0 for 2 here in game 2. So Piper's due. Takes a look at that one across for a strike. 8-3 your score here in game 2 between ICC and Jackson State. We do welcome those watching in favor of Jackson State here on Let'sGoICCTV.com. Piper pops this one up to center field. Center fielder's going to take 2-3 steps in and squeezes it for the putout. Second time in a row that Piper has been retired by the center fielder.
To the plate for the Lady Indians. Number 2.
Now this is going to be Vasquez now at the plate. So there's 1 out and a runner on first. Vasquez sends this one out to left field on a rope, but right to the left fielder. She basically took a half a step back, squeezed it for out number 2. So 2 away now. Bottom of the 6th inning, and the Indians running out of outs. This is going to be Samantha Conley at the plate.
Number 11, Sam Conley.
Conley swings the first pitch she sees. Right fielder comes up and gets it out. So Meg Sullivan started the inning with a single, but the Indians couldn't do anything with it. No runs, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 was left on base. We move now to the top of the 7th inning. ICC trails it 8-3 here in Game 2 against Jackson State. And welcome back as we have a pitching change here in the top of the 7th inning. It'll be Mackenzie Toombs, who was playing in right field, coming in to pitch here for the Indians. Also a change defensively for ICC is going to be Madison Walton moving out to right field. That appears to be the only defensive changes here for the Indians in the top of the 7th. Toombs, a freshman out of Choctaw County. Walton, a freshman out of Morville. It'll be Pratt. Pratt has played well today here in Game 2. She's 2 for 3. And she's going to start things off with a little flare out to right, and she'll get a single. She's got 3 hits here in Game 2, a pair of singles and a double. And now up will be Donner. Donner is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt. She does have an RBI, part of a very strange double play that went 5-3-2-6 to end the 3rd inning. Lays the bunt down this time. Toombs gloves it, throws it over in time for the putout. That sacrifice bunt, the 2nd of the game by Donner, retired 1-3 on the putout for those of you scoring at home. That sacrifice bunt being brought to you by the ICC Baptist Student Union.
Number 22, Marissa Turrentine.
So Turrentine will come back into the contest after being batted for in her previous at-bat. She's 0 for 2 on the afternoon. There's 1 out and a runner on second. That pitch in the dirt gets away, and the runner will advance to third. So Vance on the wild pitch as he in the dirt and gets away from the catcher. Ball 1. Credit Jackson State. They have had some timely hitting. I believe 5 or 6 extra base hits. And there's a grounder. Springfield, who was playing in, throws over to first. Good job looking back the runner to third after that hard hit ground ball to Springfield. And now there's 2 outs in the inning. Got that as the 2nd assist of the day for Springfield. And this will be number 14 coming to the plate now.
Number 14,
This is Holland, who is batted in that number 9 spot in both games. She's 0 for 1 with a pair of walks, 2 runs scored. Grounded out to the pitcher in her previous at bat. That pitch finds the outside corner of the plate for a strike. So the Indians got a lot of work to do. If they can get out of this inning with no damage done, they trail this game by 5, 8-3. Lights are on here in the ICC softball complex. That pitch missing low. 1-1 now is the count. So Toombs set to deliver the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Piper finds it and races over to first in time for the putout unassisted. So the Indians down to their final outs of the contest. They trail 8-3. We're going to step away and come back with the bottom of the 7th. Back with more right after this.
Number 9, Madison Carnes.
And welcome back now as Madison Carnes stepping to the plate, takes that first pitch for a strike. So to be Carnes, Toombs, and Childs due up here, the 7, 8, 9 batters for the Indians. Trying to get Twitter and the app to update, but it won't do so. Swing and a miss that time for the strike. And there's a rip, but the second baseman, the right spot at the right time, was shading her to go to the right side, able to rob Carnes of a base hit. So now this will be Mackenzie Toombs coming to the plate.
Number 16, Mackenzie Toombs.
So Toombs will dig in here for the Indians with one out. Toombs in her first at bat, grounded out 5-3. Takes a look at that first pitch for a ball. So 1-0 is the count here on Toombs. Toombs takes that one for a strike. McKenzie came in and pitched the top of the 7th, gave up one hit, but after that was able to get out of that with no damage done. Getting a ground out to short, a sacrifice bunt, and then also a ground out to first to get out of the inning with no runs. Toombs looked at that one low for a ball. 3-1 now goes the count here on McKenzie. Well, for the Indians, you trail by 5, so you just need base runners. Right now, if you're ICC, wanting to try to rally in this contest, Toombs takes that pitch high for a ball, and she'll head down to first. Now up will be Corey Childs.
Number 7.
Corey singled, drove in a run, advanced on an error, and ended up scoring a run in her previous at-bat. Before that, she grounded out to third. So Corey trying to spark this rally here in the bottom of the 7th. Takes that pitch for a strike. Well, you can tell those temperatures continuing to drop here in Fulton. Feel a breeze occasionally come through the ICC Foundation broadcast booth, and it's chilly. Looks at that pitch low and outside for a ball. Does Corey Childs. 1-1 now goes the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and a runner on first. That's Mackenzie Toombs, who just drew a walk. Toombs goes on the pitch, and she slides in safely with the stolen base. Toombs showing off some pretty nice speed over there. 1-2 now is the count, though, as the pitch was called a strike. So Childs swings on this one. Ripped to right. Right fielder's not going to get to it. 1 run will score. Corey Childs will check up at second. And that's going to be an RBI double there for Corey Childs. Big time hit there for the sophomore, going to the right side, and Mackenzie Toombs spinning around the bases to be able to score a run. I think Childs was thinking 3, but a great return into the infield that time by Holland.
Number 5, Rachel Starnisha.
And now Rachel Starnisha will come into bat in place of Hannah Williams. So the Indians push another run across here. They trail at 8-4 with 1 out and a runner at second in Corey Childs. Anything down to the outfield you think would easily score Childs from second. Starnisha takes that pitch across for a strike. It'll be Springfield on deck for ICC. And there's a rip, but foul. Thought it had a chance that time to maybe stay fair and sneak past the third baseman, but instead we'll come back down and do it all over again. Strike 2. So Starnisha fouls this one back, keeps the at-bat alive at 0-2. She plays shortstop in game 1, was the flex player, getting her first at bat here of the afternoon in game 2. 0-2 count coming. Pops this one up. Left fielder charging in. Shortstop, though, goes back and squeezes it for the putout. Thought there for a second the shortstop had given up on the play as she nearly ran into the infield umpire trying to get to the ball, but instead stayed with it. Nicely done that time by Emerson over there at shortstop to get the second out of the inning. So Childs stayed at second with the shortstop coming up to make the play. Now there's 2 outs, and this will be Bailey Springfield. She stands in, takes that first pitch high for a ball. 2 outs and a runner on second. Springfield at the plate, Meg Sullivan on deck. So Springfield stands in, takes that pitch low for ball 2. Springfield fouls this one straight back over the ICC Foundation broadcast booth. Remind you, you can order your tickets for the 22nd Annual ICC Gospel Bluegrass Concert coming your way on March the 3rd at iccms.edu/concert. That's iccms.edu/concert, or you can come to the Community Relations Building on the Fulton campus and order your ticket there. Pitch in on the hands for Springfield, and she pops it up, and that will do it for your contest here in game 2. ICC falls by the final score of 8-4. We're going to step away and come back here with your final stats and the Renaissance Bank postgame report right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we're step into the Renaissance Bank post-game report. A good shine of sportsmanship there after the game as the two teams meet at midfield. All right, let's take a look at your final line here for Jackson State. They had 8 runs On 12 hits, only 1 error. For ICC, they had 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors. Here's your score by inning for Jackson State. In the first inning, 0. Second inning, 0. 5 runs in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, no runs in the seventh. For ICC, no runs in the first, 1 in the second, no runs in the third and fourth inning, 2 runs in the bottom of the fifth, no runs in the bottom of the sixth, and 1 run in the bottom of the seventh. Batting stats on the afternoon, multiple hits for Jackson State. Turner had 3, Turnbow had 2, Emerson had 2, Ellis had 2, Pratt had 3. For ICC, multiple hits. It was Meg Sullivan with 2 and Corey Childs with 2. Doubles on the afternoon. Turnbow for Jackson State had 2. And then you had 1 for Pratt. And then for ICC, it was 2 doubles, 1 by Carnes, 1 by Corey Childs. Your losing pitcher on the day was Olivia Burns. She goes to 1-1 on the year. Your winning pitcher was Hayes. She goes to 1-0. Well, ICC will be back in action on the 7th against Snead State. We'll try to have you that action going on that day. The main problem is it's National Signing Day in football, so it depends on how busy we are there with football. We'll try to get back out here for that 2 o'clock start. So that's going to do it for Raphael Henry, Lee Adams. I'm Adam Gore. We'll see you next time here on Let'sGoICCTV.com. ICC softball splits with Jackson State, winning Game 1 by the final score of 10-1 in 5 innings and losing Game 2 8-4. We'll see you next time, folks, here on Let'sGoICCTV.com.